Human bodyguard bleeds for alien diplomat, and she breaks protocol for him. The plasma bolt seared through Marcus Chen's shoulder, spinning him sideways as he threw himself between Ambassador Zixathala and the assassin's weapon. His Kevlar vest absorbed most of the impact, but the superheated energy found the gap between plates, burning through flesh and muscle. The human bodyguard hit the marble floor of the Galactic Council chambers hard, his blood spreading in crimson pools across the pristine white stone. "Target down! Repeat, target down!" The assassin's voice crackled through his comm unit as he prepared for the killing shot on the Altarian diplomat. Ambassador Zixathala, a 7-foot-tall being with iridescent scales and 4 arms, watched, in what could only be described as shock. In her 3 centuries of life, she had never seen such reckless devotion. Her species, the Altarians, were logical beings who calculated every risk, every outcome. Self-sacrifice for another was not just foreign, it was incomprehensible. Marcus rolled onto his back, his service weapon steady despite the burning agony in his shoulder. "Not today," he gasped, squeezing the trigger twice. The assassin, a Corvan mercenary, dropped like a stone. "Marcus!" Zixathala's translator converted her native clicks and whistles into standard galactic, but something was lost in translation. The urgency, the concern, emotions that no Altarian had ever displayed for another species came through as mere words. She moved toward him, her 4 arms reaching out instinctively before stopping abruptly. Altarian protocol was absolute. No physical contact with alien species. Their immune systems were incompatible, their biology too different. One touch could mean death for either party. Marcus's breathing was growing shallow. The plasma burn had cauterized the wound, but internal bleeding was another matter entirely. His augmented human physiology was already working to repair the damage, but it wouldn't be enough. Not this time. "Ambassador," he wheezed. "Perimeter, check the perimeter. There could be more." "Security is handling it," she said, kneeling beside him but keeping her hands carefully away. "The medics are coming." "No." Marcus shook his head, weakly. "Human medics won't reach me in time. The Corvan weapon, it's designed to kill slowly, maximizes suffering." He managed a pained smile. "Sorry, Ambassador. Looks like I failed you after all." Zixathala's chromatophores, color-changing cells beneath her scales, shifted from their usual diplomatic blue to something Marcus had never seen before, a deep, pulsing gold that seemed to emanate from within her being. "You did not fail," she said firmly. "You did exactly what I never expected any being to do. You chose my life over your own." "It's my job," Marcus whispered. "No," she replied, her voice dropping to a whisper that the translator barely caught. It was something else entirely. The Altarian medical team arrived first, as always. They were efficient, clinical, and completely helpless. Their equipment wasn't designed for human physiology, their medicine incompatible with human biochemistry. "We cannot help him," the lead medic announced in the flat, emotionless tone typical of her species. "His biology is too alien. We must wait for his own kind." Zixathala's chromatophores flashed violent orange, a color that meant fury among her people. She had studied human customs extensively during their year together. She knew what bleeding meant to them, not just the physical act, but the metaphor. To bleed for someone was to sacrifice, to prove devotion beyond words. And Marcus had bled for her. Literally and figuratively, the human medics were still 5 minutes away. Marcus would be dead in 3. "Leave us," she commanded her medical team. "Ambassador, protocol clearly states, leave us." The words came out in her native language, a sound like breaking crystal. The medical team retreated immediately. Alone now, except for the dying human, Zixathala made a choice, that would echo through both their species' histories. She reached out with one of her 4 hands and placed it gently on Marcus's forehead. The touch burned. Altarian's skin secreted a mild neurotoxin as a defense mechanism, harmless to most species in small doses, but potentially fatal to humans with their delicate nervous systems. She should have been protecting herself, protecting him, protecting the centuries of careful diplomatic progress between their species. Instead, she began to glow. Altarians possessed a secret that only their highest medical castes knew. Their bioluminescent abilities weren't just for communication. They could manipulate their own cellular energy, even transfer it. It was forbidden, dangerous, and had never been attempted with an alien species. Marcus's eyes widened as warmth spread. From her touch, his wound began to close, the bleeding stopped, and his labored breathing eased. "Ambassador? What are you?" "Something my people call Zalith More," she said, her voice strained with effort. "It means life-sharing. We can give our own cellular energy to heal others, but only our own kind. The biological barriers between species make it impossible. But you're doing it anyway." Her chromatophores pulsed weakly now, her energy draining into him. "You bled for me, Marcus Chen. You chose to bleed for someone who isn't even your species, your kind, your world. If you can break the most fundamental law of self-preservation for me, then I can break protocol for you." The chamber doors burst open as human medics rushed in, followed closely by Zix Thala's security detail. They found the ambassador collapsed. Beside her bodyguard, both alive, both forever changed. 3 days later, as Marcus recovered in the medical bay, Zix Thala sat beside his bed. Her scales had dimmed to a soft silver, a color he'd learned meant contemplation. "The council is in an uproar," she reported. "Some are calling for my recall, others are demanding a full investigation into the contamination incident." "Are you in trouble?" Her chromatophores shifted to what Marcus now recognized as amusement. "I broke 3,000 years of Altarian protocol and nearly killed us both with an untested medical procedure. What do you think?" "I think," Marcus said, reaching out to touch her hand, a gesture she no longer flinched from, "that some protocols are worth breaking." Zix Thala looked at their joined hands, human and alien, both still alive against all odds. "My people have a saying, logic guides the mind, but courage guides the heart. I never understood it until a human chose to bleed for me. And I never understood what it meant to truly live until an alien broke every rule to save me." In the months that followed, their unprecedented bond would reshape interspecies relations across the galaxy. But in that moment, in the quiet of the medical bay, it was simply about 2 beings who had chosen each other over protocol, over safety, over the cold calculations of their respective worlds. Some things, they learned, were worth bleeding for,